It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, and we have an update on whether the TNT title will receive a name change following AEW's move to TBS, and a WCW Legend is set to appear on Dynamite this Friday. All that and more coming up in today's video, but first... On May 4th, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay suffered a neck injury which forced him to vacate the title weeks later. He then returned to the UK for treatment and rehabilitation and now has provided an update regarding his recovery. Ospreay posted the update on Twitter and said, "Had my physio pop over the house today, and after further digging, I'm now being referred for another MRI on my lower back as well for fears I may have the same issue in my neck. Things ain't looking good, but I'm determined to come back this year. Thanks for the support." Although Ospreay has said he wants to be back in the ring this year, the things aren't looking good part of the tweet suggests that he might have been told otherwise. It's likely he's aiming to come back for the Wrestle Kingdom event in January, but it seems this may not be possible. But we will keep an eye out for any further updates on his injury as we get them. AEW star Brian Cage has been revealed as a cast member of an upcoming horror movie. The film, titled Jasper, will see Cage play a character named Hammer. The movie will tell the story of a young woman and her friends who are being stalked by a serial killer who feeds his victims to pigs. So not quite the family movie. The film will also star Kane Hodder, who is known for his role as Jason Voorhees in the Friday 13th franchise. The picture is currently in post-production following the filming in Egg Harbor and Mays Landing in New Jersey. Jasper is scheduled to be released in theaters on Friday, February 25th, 2022. And will you be checking out Brian Cage's latest venture? Let me know in the comments down below. We're just 3 nights away from the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view, and with all of the main card matches announced, it has now been revealed that there will be an additional match on the buy-in show. We will see the NWA Women's World Champion Serena Deeb take on Riho for the title. This is Serena's 5th defense of the belt, and again the 5th that has happened on AEW television. This means that all of her defenses so far have taken place in All Elite Wrestling. The last time she defended her belt was against Red Velvet on Dynamite, and this latest match will serve as a rematch from the AEW Women's Eliminator Tournament, where Riho and Deeb met in the first round. Last time, Riho came away with the victory, so she'll be hoping to do the same again. Serena is coming off the back of a 2-month injury where she was out with knee problems, and Riho is back in the States following a brief return to Japan. On May 19th, AEW announced that AEW Dynamite, as well as their new show AEW Rampage, will be moving to TBS in January 2022. This raised questions over the future of the TNT title. Of course, with AEW's presence on TNT now being limited to 4 shows a year, many wondered if the belt's name would change to the TBS title or even the television title. Cody Rhodes spoke with the Wrestling Observer and discussed the speculation, confirming that the name for now will remain in place. He said, "I don't want to drop any spoilers, but I mean, I'll drop a spoiler. I don't think we're going to change the title's name one bit. TNT is the place that the first alternative challenger brand in 2 decades appeared on. Their excitement, our partners at Warner Media, and the TNT title, as I've stated, I think it is, if not the most important title in wrestling, the second most important title in wrestling. I don't see us changing that name, and I think that's kind of across the board. I don't think you'll find anybody in management or Tony himself who wants to change that name. We'll always roll with the punches and we'll always pivot, but I'm 99% sure that the TNT title stays the TNT title." And the title will of course be part of this weekend's Double or Nothing show when Miro defends the belt against Lance Archer. And speaking of Double or Nothing, next up we have an update from Fightful regarding the scheduled Stadium Stampede match. The match is of course set to see the Inner Circle take on the Pinnacle and will be the second Stadium Stampede match, with the first being last year at Double or Nothing between the Elite and the Inner Circle. With a full crowd being present, many have wondered how AEW would go about the match given the last incarnation was a pre-taped cinematic match. It is now being reported that this year's bout will have a quote significant live element to it. However, Fightful sources wouldn't give away exactly what that meant. Could this mean that fans will be taken over to the AT&T Stadium, which is right next to Daly's place, where of course the main show is being held, or perhaps the action will start inside the stadium with the match being shown on a big screen for the live crowd, with the competitors then fighting their way over to the Daly's place ring. It will be interesting to see how AEW handle it whilst keeping the crowd invested in the match and the show. And before we get into our final story, make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming AEW content as we head towards the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And while you're down there, why not help support the channel by using our Fight affiliate link in the description below, where you can purchase the pay-per-view for under $20 if you're an international viewer. But with that said, let's get back to the video. And finally, this week Chris Jericho appeared on Busted Open Radio and revealed that a certain WCW legend will be returning to AEW Dynamite this Friday as part of the Inner Circle's celebrations. Jericho described the celebrations and said, "This Friday we're having a celebration of the Inner Circle that has been kind of promoted and perpetuated by AEW. This is not an Inner Circle idea, this is AEW kind of giving thanks to the Inner Circle for all that we've done in the past year and a half. Because if this is indeed our last match at Stadium Stampede, then we're going to go down with all guns blazing." And of course Jericho there is referring to the fact that if the Inner Circle lose, they will disband. This was a self-imposed stipulation from Chris Jericho in the build-up to the match. Jericho revealed the host for the celebration and said, "The host, the MC of this Inner Circle celebration, this is an exclusive, we haven't told anybody this, but it's going to be a returning Eric Bischoff to host and MC the whole segment. First time that Bischoff and I have ever been on the same side. Much like when I called Mike Tyson when we had our change of heart a few months ago, another guy I called was Eric Bischoff. We have made amends and Eric agreed to come down and MC the celebration of the Inner Circle this Friday on TNT. This marks Bischoff's fourth appearance on Dynamite, having always been in segments alongside Jericho. His last appearance was almost 3 months ago, where he asked a question in the Young Bucks Inner Circle press conference. Eric Bischoff is of course mostly known for his time in WCW, where he was the president of the company during the Monday Night Wars, and introduced many elements into the weekly TV shows that we still see today. I personally like the idea of Bischoff on TV, with him being a huge part of wrestling history, especially on TNT. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. And before you go, why not check out 10 wrestlers who could be the mystery entrant in the Casino Battle Royal this weekend.